I should have sensed trouble the second I stepped through the door of our cozy ranch house in Bozeman, Montana. The kind of place where the mountains hug the horizon and the air smells like pine and fresh hay. It was my 32nd birthday, and I'd spent the day elbow-deep in our catering kitchen, perfecting a massive brisket rub for a big rodeo event that weekend. My hands still carried the scent of smoked paprika and garlic. I was beat but buzzing, dreaming of a low-key night with my husband, Jake, maybe some barbecue takeout from our own shop, a Western flick on TV, and whatever surprise he'd hinted at. Instead, there he was at the kitchen table with his mom, Margaret, both wearing faces like storm clouds rolling in over the Rockies. Cold, scheming, almost eager. "Emily, come sit," Jake said, his tone all business.
No bottoms.
He didn't stand to wrap me in one of his bear hugs like usual. Didn't even crack a smile. Margaret was in her sharp navy pantsuit, the one she saved for bank meetings or county council stuff. Her silver hair was pinned back tight, and her coral lipstick looked too bright, like it was trying too hard. She clutched a fat envelope in her hands, nails painted fire engine red. "Happy birthday, hun," Margaret said, but it dripped with that phony sugar she'd used before dropping a bomb. I dropped my bag on the counter, my pulse picking up like a horse at a gallop. Something was off. Way off. "What's this about?" I asked, glancing between them. "You two look like you're at a funeral." Jake cleared his throat, fiddling with his BOLO tie. "We gotta talk about us. Our marriage. The business." "The business?" "Our catering outfit. Hayes Barbecue and Events. That we'd bootstrapped from scratch? It was my passion project, born from my grandma's old recipes and my love for feeding folks at weddings, fairs, and ranch parties across Montana." Margaret flipped open the envelope, pulling out a sheaf of papers, legal stuff, with official stamps glaring back at me. "Sit down, Emily," Jake said, firmer now. I stayed put. "Tell me straight first." Margaret's smile stretched thin, showing her veneers. "Well, since you're being stubborn, I'll cut to the chase. Jake's filing for divorce." The words slammed into me like a bucking bronco. I staggered back a step. "What?" Jake met my eyes, and there was this gleam, satisfaction. "Maybe? It's done.
Eminencia.
Marriage over. And I'm keeping the business. Keeping it." My voice was a whisper. "Our business? The one we built side by side." Margaret chuckled. A sharp, echoing sound in our open-plan kitchen. "Oh, sweetie, it was never really ours, was it? Jake's name's on the deed, the loans, the vendor contracts. You were just the pitmaster, the one slinging sauce." It stung like salt in a fresh cut. "And the house," I managed, waving at our place, the log cabin we'd fixed up, with the wraparound porch overlooking the Gallatin River. "In my name, too," Jake added. "You'll have to pack up and go. You're evicting me from our home? On my birthday?" "It's not yours," Margaret snapped, thrusting the papers at me. "Jake bought it with family money I loaned him. You just occupied it." Jake stood, aligning with his mom like they were a posse.
Signing in. Eminencia.
"Divorce decree. Asset transfer. Don't make this ugly." I scanned the docs, divorce filings, a notice to vacate, business handover forms. Everything I'd poured my soul into gone. "You schemed this," I said softly. "Together." Jake shrugged. "You never fit in our world."
Eminencia.
"Grew up on that dusty farm.
No connections.
Back to square one for you." Margaret smirked, like tossing out yesterday's scraps. They laughed then, right there in my kitchen. like I was the punchline. I stared at these two, shredding my life on what should have been my day. Then, weirdly, I felt a calm settle in. I took the papers, signed every line without a glance. Done, I said evenly. Their laughter died. Confusion flickered. I grabbed my bag, headed for the door, and paused. Thanks for the clarity. I stepped out, shutting the door on that chapter. They had no clue the storm brewing. 6 months back, things seemed golden. I remembered standing in our new commercial kitchen in downtown Bozeman, watching Jake nail up our business license. Hayes Barbecue and Events, our name, our hustle. We made it. Darlin', he'd said, pulling me close. From my tiny apartment setup to this beast, I'd leaned into him, overflowing with gratitude. We'd started humble, me smoking meats in my old place for Jake's buddies, ranchers, oil guys, local bigwigs. He had the network from his college days. I'd bring the flavor. Remember our first gig? The Thompson Ranch wedding. I was a wreck, up all night tweaking rubs. But you kept saying it'd shine. That was the Jake I'd fallen for, the one who'd haul wood at dawn for the smoker, drive hours for specialty spices, brag to everyone about his wife's magic touch. But cracks showed soon after. Jake took calls behind closed doors, vanishing to his office. Who was that? I'd ask. Just Biz. No worries. Margaret popped by more, never a fan of mine,
but distant till then.
She'd hovered during rushes, saying loud enough for me to hear, Jake, you're the real brains here. Emily's lucky you've got the savvy. He'd nod, not push back. She'd nitpick finances. Cut staff? Emily can handle the pit alone. Save a bundle.
Ma.
She's pulling 16-hour shifts, he'd say, but half-heartedly. Then the papers piled up, tax forms, insurance tweaks, bank shifts. Just sign. I've checked it, he'd say. I trusted him, my partner, my rock. But other signs, late nights smelling of floral perfume not mine. Texts at dinner making him grin secretively. Client, he'd mutter, flipping his phone down. Our talks shortened. Hugs turned perfunctory. He stopped asking about my day, praising my food, dreaming aloud. The tipping point? 3 weeks pre-birthday. I forgot my keys, post-cleanup. Heard Jake in his office. Nah.
Ma.
She ain't suspicious. Signs whatever. Too trustin'. Margaret's voice boomed. That girl from nowhere's milked our name long enough. Time to boot her. Jake laughed. After her birthday. Emily, Hazelby history. We'll have it all. She gets zilch. I froze. Heart hammering. My husband plotting my ruin and relishing it. I slipped out, mind reeling, but held off confronting. Needed facts first. Next morning, I called out sick, first time in years. Jake seemed puzzled but not wary. Rest up, babe, he said, pecking my forehead before heading out. The second his truck rumbled away, I rang Sarah, my best friend from culinary school, now our ops manager with full financial access. If anyone could unpack this mess, she could.
Ing. You sound wrecked, she said.
Jake mentioned a headache? Come over now. Bring every file you've got. She arrived in 15. And I spilled it all. The overheard call. Jake's shifts. Margaret's meddling. Sarah's eyes widened. That low-down snake. He's been hounding me for odd reports. We dumped docs on the table, statements.
Contracts.
Policies. Surface level fine. But digging revealed a nightmare. Check this, Sarah pointed. New biz account. Jake's name only. Transfers from big clients routed there. My gut twisted. Thousands siphoned from our joint pot. Worse, she added, flipping contracts. The Larson rodeo gig? He amended it post-your sign, directing payments to his personal.
How?
I'm co-owner. Sarah's face fell. Look at the license.
Sole proprietorship, Jake is. Owner. You're.
An employee. I collapsed into a chair. But we filed as partners. The partnership doc? Titled Employment Agreement. Legalese had fooled me. He duped me from the jump, I whispered. It snowballed. Loans against the biz. $180,000 total. Where'd it go? I asked. Sarah logged into his card portal. Charges screamed affair. Fancy steakhouses. Hotel stays during supplier runs. Jewelry. Then, Tiffany's engagement ring. $7,200. The world spun. Who's she? Sarah hesitated. Remember the Whitaker wedding? Jake chatted up the bride's sis. Brooke Whitaker. Her dad's got half the event venues in Montana. If he marries her. Boom, contracts galore, I finished. Dumps me in the dust. Evidence piled. Jake stealing. Borrowing recklessly. Prepping to bolt with the upgrade. What now? Sarah asked. I stared at the mess. We fight smart. I wasn't alone.
My dad.
Tom Reynolds. Lived nearby, a retired sheriff with county ties. We drifted after Mom's passing. He thought Jake too slick. Time to mend that. I drove to his cabin, spilling everything. His jaw set like granite. That boy's done crossed the line. We'll bury him legally. He called his old partner, now a PI named Mike Lopez, and a sharp family lawyer, Karen Ellis. Meet at my office tomorrow, Karen said. Bring all you've got. That night, I played normal with Jake. Dinner. Small talk. Inside, I seethed, but planned. Dad's setup felt like a command center. Karen spread files. Mike booted laptops with digs on Jake. Asset fraud, Karen said. Felony if proven. But those signatures. Under dupe, Dad interjected.
Misrepresentation voidsing.
Mike grinned. Bad news. Jake's gambling's deep. Owes $75,000 to bookies. Not just locals. My stomach dropped. Good news. His lawyer. Stan Brooks. Shady history hiding assets in divorces. 3 other gals got burned similar. Our angle, Karen nodded. Pattern proves intent. Need proof though, tapes. Snaps. What do I do? I asked. Act clueless, Dad said. Gather intel. They armed me. Recording keychain from Karen. Purse cam from Mike. Forensic accountant card from Dad. Next week's?
Hell.
Waking beside Jake. Faking affection while he schemed. But I recorded him and Margaret plotting post-Emily expansions. Snapped fake docs from Brooks. Even caught a call with Brooke. After the divorce. We'll rebrand big. Toughest? His daily lies. You okay?
Ain't.
Seem off. Just work, I'd say. Device whirring.
2 weeks out.
Met Karen and Mike at a diner. We've got a slam dunk, Karen said. Admissions of fraud. Forgery preps. But, Mike added. Jake's desperate. Bookies hounding him, saw him at the kitchen. Means he's rushing, Karen explained. We let him spring it. Then nail M for completed fraud. Dad squeezed my hand via phone. Can you play the part? Kiddo. Thinking of the betrayal. The theft, I nodded.
Yeah.
Let's end this. Birthday morn. Jake gone early, no wishes. I texted Sarah. Showtime. At 2 p.m. His call. Come home early? Ma, and I need to chat. Sure. I played innocent. All good.
Fine.
Hurry. Phoned Karen. It's on. Act crushed. Sign quick. We'll move post-exit. I drove slow, savoring their false win. Through the window, them at the table like executioners.
Inside.
It unfolded. Cold tones. Papers. Insults. Signed as planned, but weeks prior, I'd quietly reverted to Emily Reynolds via court. Signatures mismatched everything. Useless. Thanks, I said. Leaving. Texted Karen. Done. Parked nearby. Watched cop cars swarm at 3:15. Officers at door. Jake's panic. Mike. Karen. Feds arrived. White-collar unit. By 3:30. Jake cuffed. Margaret wailing. Brooks showed. Busted on spot. Karen called. We got him. Fraud. Embezzlement. Conspiracy.
Now.
They explained to a judge why they targeted a sheriff's daughter. I laughed. Relief flooding. But best? 4 p.m. Bookies hit the house, found crime scene tape. Jake's calls started. Desperate voicemails begging help. By night, 15 calls. Him sobbing. Margaret raging. Brooks bargaining. Favorite?
10h47 da noite. Em.
Please. Bookies'll kill me. Accounts frozen. I messed up bad. Help. Saved it. Sipped whiskey in a motel. Tasting freedom. The aftermath hit like a Montana blizzard. Fierce, but clearing the air. Next day.
E met Dad.
Karen. And Mike at the precinct.
Jake.
Margaret. And Brooks were in holding, looking like wrung-out dish rags. Karen laid it out. With your recordings and docs. We've got ironclad fraud. Misrepresented contracts. Embezzled funds. Conspiracy to defraud.
Plus.
Brooks' pattern opens a can of worms for his past cases. Dad nodded. Judge Harlan's overseeing. Old academy buddy. He'll throw the book. What about the business? House. Yours, Karen said. Court'll void transfers. You'll get damages too. Stolen funds traced back. Relief washed over me. But a twinge of pity crept in. Jake wasn't always this monster. Life had twisted him. I visited the kitchen, staff buzzing. Unaware. Sarah hugged me tight. Weary brand? Reynolds Barbecue? Partners? I asked. Hell yes. We dove in. Forensic accountant unearthed every penny Jake siphoned, mostly to gambling and Brooke. Turns out, Margaret pushed the affair, seeing dollar signs in Whitaker ties. Brooke ghosted Jake post-arrest. Love evaporated with the scandal. Trials loomed. I testified, voice steady, recounting the betrayal. Jake's eyes met mine. Remorse? Or fear? He took a plea. For years for fraud. Embezzlement. Margaret got 2 for aiding. Brooks?
Disbarred.
18 months. Watching them sentenced. Satisfaction mixed with sorrow. Margaret broke down, apologizing through tears. I was blind. Protecting my boy.
Jake. Cuffed.
Whispered.
Em. I'm sorry.
Gambling. It consumed me. I nodded. No words. Bookies? With assets seized. They backed off. Feds tipped him. Jake was broke. Months blurred. Rebuilding. Dad helped renovate the kitchen. His crew adding a smoker pit. We bonded over late-night talks, him admitting he'd been too hard. Me owning my blind trust. Lesson learned, he'd say. But you're tougher than I knew. Business boomed. New name. Fresh contracts. Sans Whitaker drama.
Ira de locals.
Focused on community events, fundraisers for ranches hit by drought, free meals for firefighters. One evening, 6 months post-arrest, a letter arrived from Jake. Prison stamped.
Ink.
I hit rock bottom here. Therapy's opening my eyes. Addiction. Greed. Ma's influence. I destroyed us.
No excuses.
If you can forgive, not for me, for you. I stared at the page. Anger lingered, but pity grew. Humane side nudged. Maybe redemption's possible. I wrote back. Jake, forgiveness is a process. You've got time to change. Focus on that.
No promises.
But a door cracked. Margaret wrote too. Post-release on probation. I was wrong about you. Jealous of your grit.
Can we talk?
We met at a neutral cafe. She looked frail.
No macaparme.
I pushed him into it. Saw you as threat to our legacy. Stupid. Tears flowed. I get it, I said. Family blinds us. But actions have costs. We parted civil, not friends, but healed wounds. Brooks surfaced via email. Sorry for my part. Didn't know the full story. I replied. Water under the bridge. Move on. Through it. A light lesson crystallized. Betrayal hurts. But holding grudges chains you. Forgiveness frees, for your sake, not theirs. And trust? Build it on actions, not words. Business-wise, we expanded. Food truck for fairs. Online rubs. Sarah and I split profits fair. Real partners. Dad became fixture. Proud pop apron. Mangling recipes but trying. Our weekly dinners mended years lost. 1 year on. Standing in Reynolds BBQ's expanded space, dining area overlooking mountains, I prepped for our anniversary bash. Critics from Denver Post arrived. Locals packed tables. Sarah grinned. Boss. Mayor's here. And ranchers galore. Let's wow, I said. Glazing ribs. Night shone. Raves for my updated brisket. Bookings flooded. But pinnacle? Dad's toast. To Emily, who turned poison to medicine. Clinking glasses. I felt whole. Jake's plot hadn't broken me. It had rebuilt stronger. As the grand opening wrapped, my phone buzzed, a prison number.
Jake.
Hesitated, but answered.
Ink.
It's me. What do you need? Saw the reviews online. Place looks killer. Congrats. Thanks.
A pause.
Therapy here's tough, but good. Learning about my messes. Gambling started small. Snowballed. Ma enabled, I let her. You deserved better. Yeah, I did. Any chance? When I'm out. Coffee? Just talk. I thought of the humane path. Maybe.
If you've changed.
Actions. Jake, not words. Understood. Thanks for hearing me. Hanging up. Lightness settled. Not reconciliation, but closure. Margaret visited weeks later. Probation tag on. We walked the river trail. Prison humbled Jake, she said. Me too, community service at shelters. Eye-opener. Good, I replied. Growth's key. We shared tentative laughs over old stories, pre-betrayal days. No full mend, but seeds planted. Business thrived. Partnered with local farms for sustainable meats. Hosted cooking classes for kids. Gave back, free events for veterans. Drawing crowds. Dad joked, "You're the queen of Bozeman barbecue now." But real win? Inner peace. Lesson: life's storms reveal strength. Mercy heals the healer. One crisp fall day. Brooke showed, nervous. At the counter.
Ink. Can we chat?
Outside. She fidgeted. I was clueless about the fraud. Jake painted you as
distant.
I fell for it. Hurt. But past, I said. You okay? Single now. Focusing on family biz. Learned to vet people better. Me too. Coffee sometime. She smiled. I'd like that. A unlikely ally born from ashes. Winter brought challenges. Snowstorms hit supplies. But community rallied. Ranchers donated beef. Staff volunteered extra. Jake wrote monthly. Progress reports. Sobriety chips. Counseling insights. Building a new me, one said. I responded encouragingly.
No commitments.
Humane?
Yes.
Foolish? No. Boundaries firm. Spring renewal. Expanded to Missoula outpost. Sarah ran it. I oversaw. At a fundraiser. Met Alex, a rancher vet. Kind eyes. Steady hands. Dates started slow. Trail rides. Home-cooked meals. You've been through hell, he said once.
Yeah.
Taught me resilience, and to spot real from fake. He nodded. Admire that. No rush. Built on trust. Margaret hosted a awkward family dinner post-probation. Her. Jake via video, early release pending good behavior. Tense. But honest talks flowed. I failed as a mom, she admitted. Push status over heart.
Jake te added up.
Your forgiveness? Lifeline. Not full yet, I said. But working on it. Lesson echoed. Redemption's possible if earned. By summer. Business hit records. Featured in Western Living Mag. From betrayal to barbecue empire. Interview. What I learned? Hold space for mercy. Frees you to thrive. Dad beamed. That's my girl. As sun set over mountains. I stood on the porch. Grateful. Betrayal? Catalyst for better. 2 years post-betrayal. Life bloomed fuller. Reynolds Barbecue franchise to Wyoming. Sarah and I Cosas. Community pillar. Scholarships for culinary hopefuls. Especially from rural spots like my upbringing. Alex and I. Engaged. Quiet proposal on a hike. Rings simple. Meaningful. You're my rock, he said. Learn to be my own first, I replied. Wedding planned small. Ranch venue. Our brisket starring. Jake released early, good behavior. Programs completed. He emailed, starting over in Billings. Mechanic job. Therapy ongoing. Proud of you. I invited him to the wedding. Neutral ground. He came. Subdued. Thanks for this chance. We talked. His regrets. My growth. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, I said. It's moving forward. He nodded. Lesson taken. Margaret attended too, softer. Volunteering full-time. You've taught us all, she whispered. Honeymoon in Yellowstone. Reflection time. Betrayal's scar faded. Strength shown. Back. Business evolved. Eco-friendly packaging. Vegan options. Inclusivity drew diverse crowds. Dad retired fully. Helping at the kitchen. Best gig ever, he'd say. Botching sauces adorably. One eve. Over family dinner, Dad. Alex. Sarah's crew, I toasted. To twists that lead to triumphs. And mercy that mends. All clinked. Lesson light but profound. In revenge's shadow. Choose humanity, it redeems everyone. Years later. Jake rebuilt. Own auto shop. Married.
Kid on way.
We exchanged holiday cards, distant but cordial. Margaret wrote a memoir on family pitfalls. Proceeds to charities.
Me?
Thriving. 2 kids with Alex. Business empire. Betrayal? Best detour ever.
End.